According to her, he'd gone away to chase his dreams. He admitted to leaving her stranded as he'd gone for a job opportunity in Atlanta. He explained that he tried to contact her, but she was at a youth shelter. She interrupted him, saying he didn't try to get in contact with her, and she didn't even know he was in Atlanta.
Mr. Green, he was the person there for me, giving me emotional support.
She explained that the relationship she had with Mr. Green was more like a rebound thing. So they both connected on that level because they were both going through the heartache of losing someone they cared about.
Emotions at the time. You cannot control your emotions when you feel that you want someone, and you know, I want Mr. Taylor to be there, but I couldn't have that at the time. So I felt that I wanted someone there to care for me, Your Honor.
In his statement to the court, he stated that he didn't learn about this until she was 9 months pregnant.
I was driving without a license, and I was only locked up for like a day.
Okay.
And I got out of jail and went to go see her, and that's when she told me about it.
And then what was your reaction?
I was mad. I didn't know what to do.
But unfortunately, the deed's been done. You can't unbake that bun in your oven. He revealed that while she was pregnant, she was trying to get Mr. Green to be with her.
When I met her, she told me that he had left her for a rap career in Atlanta, just left and didn't want nothing to do with her, had nothing to do with her, didn't want to take care of the kids. So I'm sitting there and I feel bad. Right? So I was sitting there, I feel bad. She got 2 kids. So I sat there and I felt bad, we vibed, and then I was going through stuff.
When they left the shelter, he got a place and he asked her to come stay with him because he didn't want her on the streets, but a lot of other things were going on. While she was in bed with him, he looked over at her and she was on her phone and she was texting Mr. Taylor.
Your Honor, he is crazy. This man is crazy. I left, Your Honor. After the argument, it wasn't that he put me out and put my stuff out.
Mr. Green admitted that she had sent him a text asking if she could name the baby after him.
That's it. That's why we're here, just to tell the truth. So the bottom line is you really don't know. You told him he was the father. You messaging him as well.
Telling him he the father.
Because you don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
He told her he didn't know, and honestly, I don't blame him. Mr. Green explained that he'd want to be with a kid if it turned out to be his, but he also mentioned that he wants nothing to do with her. And it's time for the results.
His biological father is Mr. Green.
I figured. That's fine.
Oh, ladies, when are you gonna learn that seeking cover beneath the sheets with your legs open is never the way to go? Honestly, things would have been a lot better if she would have realized that sooner. She's got not 1, not 2, not 3, but the magic number 4 potential fathers. Her mother testified that she'd done some questionable things in her past, you don't friggin' say, but she's willing to get her daughter the closure that she deserves. How kind of you after all this time.
Confusing. I'm embarrassed, especially because I'm a mom myself, so it's important for everyone to know whether that person's a part of their life,
Her relationship with her mother's been distant because she's been angry at her. She felt like she didn't really care that she was hurting about not knowing who her father was, or she didn't even think if it was important to her when it really was. Miss Sullivan submitted to the court a calendar outlining the conception window.
Dating my ex, who I met him at a restaurant that I worked at, and we were dating for a while. And then I found out that Mr. McKinney was going off to war, so I went to visit him where he lived at and spend the weekend with him before he...
She then went back to her ex, who she was still dating at the time, but then they broke up. The weekend they broke up, she went to visit her sister and she hooked up with Mr. Bryson, who was a friend of a couple of years prior, and they got, intimate. She went back to her ex again, moved to her hometown, and met Mr. Brown. They started dating and they stayed together for about 5 years. Now, all of this transpired in, just to get to this, 2 weeks.
I was around 8 years old, and that's when the family member had said, I was there, she was watching me, and just blurted out, do I know that he's not my biological father?
So she talked to her mom about it, and that was when she found out that the ex was her dad. She talked to him on the phone and she cried because he told her that he didn't want anything to do with her, as his wife didn't want that, and he also wasn't sure that he was even her father in the first place. Miss Sullivan explained that she never told her about him because he rejected her.
I had filed for a blood test when she was just a couple months, and he did everything he could to avoid the test. And then the final time that we went to court for the child support, he showed me the picture of the test results, and it was his brother that had actually taken the test.
The judge ruled him as the father, considering he was trying so hard to avoid the blood test, so he went ahead and ordered him to pay child support. Well, that's what happens when you try to run away from responsibilities, bud. Miss Gutierrez did another test with him, which she paid for. But she turned out to not be his, so he got mad and requested that he wanted all the child support money back.
You could be, or do you believe you are Ms. Gutierrez's biological father?
Initially, I thought no, but now I don't know. That's the thing. And I hope today turns out that I am, so she don't have to look no further. You know what I'm saying?
It's heartwarming to know that someone's actually willing to be there for her. Like, he can't really make up for 27 years, but he's willing to start today. If he turns out to be the father, that is. He's seen pictures of her, but this was the first time he was seeing her physically. Her mother had told her that Mr. Bryson was her father, and she was pretty confused, and she had to ask Mr. Brown, who then confirmed that they also had some similarities too.
He was the one that I thought mostly could be her father because the similarities were there, the skin tone and the temper. And I've always been ashamed to even admit to anybody that I had that time with him. So I never admitted it to anybody.
Okay, so she never got a DNA test with him, but when she met him, she'd already gone to the hospital a week and a half before, and that was when she found out that she was pregnant. He submitted a statement to the court explaining what had happened. She never told him she was pregnant before they started dating, so he struggled with dating her.
My kids started to look like him, so I was really confused.
And I know that hurts you, and you deserve to know.
Miss Sullivan told the court that she's confident that one of these men is her daughter's biological father, but that also depends on whether or not the ex actually took the test the proper way and didn't attempt to defraud the process, but we're about to find that out. Because, my lovelies, it's time for the results. The first result is from Mr. McKinney.
When it comes to 26-year-old Parrish Gutierrez, it has been determined by this court, Mr. McKinney, her father. I could see that you were almost hoping she was.
Yeah.
I don't know about you all, but I was really hoping that he was the father. He would have been responsible, and he would have been amazing, but we still got to find out who the father is. The next result is for Mr. Bryson.
Mr. Bryson is her father.
You know, in moments like this, I'm really glad that a person is able to get closure. But holy crap, finding out that your mom was sleeping around with a bunch of dudes unprotected? Yikes. Good luck getting that image out of your head. On to the next one. He wanted to know whose house she was going to come out from. She wasn't answering her phone and text messages, so he pulled up behind her once she came out and went to the car. He asked whose house she was coming from, and she mentioned a girl's name. He then asked her to go get her, but she refused, so he decided to find out for himself. But before then, she got into the car and ran off.
Food answers the door.
So there to visit a girl, but you know there wasn't a girl.
No girl, where's she at?
Right.
So the issue, you all are.
The issue is 1 minute she says he's the dad, 1 minute she says that he's not, and
No, that's
he's trying to
y'all.
live his
That's
life.
their
No, that
issue.
Ms. Mask asserted that she had seen her on Snapchat saying someone else was Zadrian's father. She admitted that he caught her riding with a guy, and it appeared to be the same guy that showed up at the door when he went to the house. In her defense, that was the guy she was talking to at the time. Mr. Marine believes this other guy is the kid's father because they have a striking resemblance.
She has
Miss
told me
Redmond,
I'm not the dad multiple
this is
times.
the point.
Like,
period.
She told you you're what?
I'm not the father.
When
Why
say
would
that?
she say that? She says that she said it throughout the whole
like you
period of
been
him
here
being
too.
born.
I
Talking
be
about
there.
you're not the dad anyway.
I
I'll
do
take
be
him
there.
to his
That's
real
what she
dad.
said.
You know, I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Ladies, you gotta learn that you can't say something like that and take it back. I can't tell you that I want to sleep with your younger sister because she's hotter and then take that back. Fair's fair. Anyway, telling a man that is nothing but fuel for his doubts. Judge Lauren stated that she's heard enough testimonies and believes there's enough evidence to order a paternity test. So court was adjourned and they both went to the lab to submit and undergo a DNA test.
I'm gonna say that he is a good, that is why he signed that birth certificate, because he's like, you know, it's all these women, I'm just gonna do the right thing. And if he is a dad, then we'll make up for any lost time or money or anything.
Ms. Redmond stated that all she wants is for him to step up and be a good dad and also make decisions by himself. She also stated that she'd like for his family to step aside and stop steering him. Well, the only way to find out and clear everybody's doubts at this point in time is to get the results. Is this another mommy money scheme or is the guy really the dad? Well, it's time for the results.
You are the father.
Woman says that her son's not the father of a woman's child. Now, Miss Jackson appears to have 5 kids and none of their fathers are on board. That's just yikes.
She was in the, she went to the shower, her boss called her phone, right? So while her boss called her phone, I was trying to cover for her, so I told him, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm about to get in the shower, you know what I'm saying, white guy. And he say, you know what I'm saying, let me come and rub some soap on your back.
Naturally, he was upset and got angry, so he went to the bathroom and showed her the text, but she dismissed it, saying that she wouldn't have written it like that. It was pretty messed up that he told her boss that she was in the shower. So he was sleeping with someone else, and when she figured that out, she decided to sleep with somebody else too, but according to her, it was with protection.
Beginning of July, but I can see after all that, my cycle came on toward the end of July, me and Devon got back together.
He was in her brother's house butt booty naked.
What do you mean? I was already pregnant with your child up.
Mr. Brady, the dude that she slept with, is in court, and he agreed that he had a, relationship with her. He explained that it was a one-night stand. They met after 3 weeks of talking. Well, that's better than some women who do it after like 3 seconds. Anyway, they got a hotel, had drinks, and they badonkadon't. He mentioned that they had used protection, which conforms with what she testified earlier.
Got pregnant. Did you know anything about it?
No, I did, but at the time when I called her, we fell out of contact.
So how'd you find out that the baby was here?
I didn't, up until recently.
He'd recently gotten a Facebook text from her saying that they needed to talk. They exchanged numbers, and he called her. She then told him that he might have to go to court because he could be her daughter's potential father. Judge Lauren Lake asked if he'd seen the baby. He told her that he had seen and held the baby once, and when he looks at her, he doesn't think she's his.
What are your hopes?
I'm furious right now, you feel me?
You feel angry?
Yeah.
Why?
Cause you saying he hold her and all that, you feel me?
If she knew for certain that Mr. Glover was the father, then why did she introduce Mr. Brady to the kid? Kinda seems to me like she knew exactly what she was doing. She told the court that she'd done that because she slept with him in the same month, so she felt he was a potential father and he needed to know. Well, holy crap, crackers, it's time for the results.
Glover v. Jackson Brady Staten, when it comes to 1-year-old Nijah, whether Mr. Glover or Mr. Brady is the biological father. Mr. Glover, you are her father.
2 weeks later, she found out she was like the Virgin Mary. No, not a virgin. She was pregnant. Okay, so she called him to tell him, but guess what? He didn't answer. I wonder why. She then sent him a text, which he was totally nonchalant about.
Once I did get pregnant, he was amazing. Cedric rubbed my feet, rubbed my belly. He would get up at 2 a.m., go get me ice and hot Cheetos. He'd take me to every ultrasound appointment if he didn't have work. Like, the pregnancy was good. We moved out of my 2-bedroom apartment. We got a 4-bedroom house. Like, it was good.
Did he really get over what he saw on her phone like that fast? He told the court that he had given her that attention because he has 3 other children outside of the 2 they're in court for, and he has never turned his back on any of his kids. That's really commendable because there are a lot of D-bag dudes out there that take it out on kids, so respect. He also decided not to build a case on his doubts and decided to be there for them and be by her side until the results are out.
As soon as they brought Brayley into the room, the first thing he said was, "Do you guys do DNA tests here? I've never had a kid come out that light." That's the first thing he said when he seen her. But he did go see my son, and he did say that he looked like him.
He stated that he had seen more of him in Bishop than in Brayley, and the fact that he knew that another man was involved, he had a part of him wanting to believe it, and the other part of him had doubts, which is normal. Miss Looper told the court that she told one person that they could potentially be the twins' father. She also added that it wasn't during the pregnancy.
I was sure that it was Cedric's. Twins run in his family. We were together the whole time. The timeline, everything just added up. After I had the baby, I posted Brayley on Snap. The other guy who the messages he seen me and sent me a picture of his daughter and told me that, I believe that that's my daughter.
Okay, that's kind of interesting. It looks like he never signed the birth certificate. Now, in his defense, he was at work. Even if he wasn't, fellas, you got doubts, don't put your name on the thing. That's how mommies make money off of you for life. Alright. She explained that he never asked her about the birth certificate and his cousin took them home from the hospital. He also revealed that he'd lost 2 of his other babies in the same room she was sitting in, so he had told her it was hard for him to deal with that.
who know that it is possible for fraternal twins to be fathered by two different men. So knowing this adds to your belief that potentially you're the father of only one.
She explained that she had left for California because of, several reasons, like she was unhappy with their relationship, but she never told him. Shame on him for not being able to read her mind, am I right, guys? So there were no calls or text messages. He just got home from work one day and she and the kids were gone. The door was unlocked, so he thought somebody had come into the house. He got worried and started blowing up her phone, but there was no response.
His phone was like, here, use my phone. Soon as I call, she picks up the first ring. I'm like, what are you doing? Where are you at? Oh, I'm with a friend. I was like, no, you're not with no friend. You're gonna tell me where you at with my kids. And then she told me, oh, your kids, what do you mean your kids? You didn't sign no birth certificate.
Okay, so why then is she saying that he's the father now? It's not adding up. She explained that she didn't want to be with him at the time, and she also thought that that was what was best for her kids at the time, and hence why she left. She told the court that she doesn't know what the plan would be if he turns out to be the father, but she would never keep the kids away from him.
Flew him to California. I paid for him to come to California to see his kids. He's an amazing father. I'm never gonna take that away from him. But I needed to go. We can figure out a plan. We can figure out something that'll work for both of us to where he kids. That's not a problem. I just don't know.
All right, so let's find out if he actually is the father of the twins. He's obviously a good dude, and I hope they turn out to be his for their sake.
And paternity is in question for both. And because they are fraternal, we do know that they could be fathered by two different, so we have two different.
It's time for the results.
Of Looper versus Downs. When it comes to 5-month-old Brayley Downs, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Downs, you are not the father.
I really wasn't expecting that. I was actually genuinely hoping that he was the father, but